What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Wednesday night's late night agenda on another one of these days that I'm supposedly taking off, but there you go. It doesn't matter. Stuff comes up and you've got to come on and talk about it. And you know what? I would rather be nowhere else. Maybe with my family, but apart from that, I'm kind of with my family anyway. I'm rambling, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to tonight's show. There's loads for us to talk about. We'll talk about all the stuff that you've seen in the thumbnail, the title of the stream. There's lots of other bits and pieces as well. I want to start off the stream by wishing a happy 22nd birthday to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's amazing to think what this young man has achieved already in his really young Liverpool career. But we've got plenty more to come from Trent. So, as I'm sure you guys have also wished him a happy birthday on social media from all of us here at the channel. Happy 22nd birthday, Trent, I should say. But look, folks, loads for us to get through tonight. I want to start off again by just touching on something that someone said to me on last night's stream, and we didn't know if it was true or not at the time, but of course, as always is the way, when the stream ends, the news breaks and we get it for real. Somebody said to us on the stream that Marco Grujic had joined Porto on loan. That is in fact absolutely correct, so it's well played to that person. I don't know who it was off the top of my head, but yes, Marco Grujic has indeed joined Porto on a season-long loan. It's a fantastic move for him. There's no obligation to buy, or there's no agreement for a fee to sell him. Liverpool have plans to bring him back by the looks of it, but Marco Grujic will gain fantastic experience. Champions League football there with Porto as well, so he's going to come back a much better, well-rounded player. I think it's a fantastic move from him, I really do. Right time of his career. Not going to get a look in at Liverpool this season realistically too much with that packed midfield area, but you know, this is good experience from a very, very worst case scenario. If it doesn't work out, it will only increase his value, I'm sure, for Liverpool moving forward. So, good deal on that one, and fair play to whoever it was that pointed it out to us in the stream last night. You know, a lot of the time we get stuff in, people are just winding us up and stuff, but every so often something like that comes up and someone's absolutely spot on. So, credit where it's due, and we wish Marco Grujic all the best in his season-long loan over at Porto. Trent, my inspiration, said Dark Shadow. Wish I was 22, said Mo Dilbar. Mate, I'm with you. Do you know what I mean? I'm 39 right now. I'd give anything to go back and be 22 again, but I still wouldn't be anywhere near as good as Trent or have anywhere near the accomplishments that Trent has gotten in his lifetime already. So it is scary to think, isn't it? 22 years of age, and he's already considered one of the best right backs in world football. He's already won the Premier League, the Champions League. He's represented his country. He's done everything. Like, it's class, and we still have another 10 or 11, maybe even 12 more years of Trent. And I'm guessing that they're all going to be at Liverpool. I don't see Trent going anywhere else. I've seen Trent being a one-club man throughout his career. So happy birthday to Trent, as I said. I feel for Grujic. Really wanted to see this guy play for us at Infamous 76. This is a better situation for him than it would have been if he stayed at Liverpool for this season. Let's be frank about it. He's going to get a lot more football at Porto. Space came up in their midfield. They made the move from their window was open a bit later, obviously. Brought him in on loan. Good move. Obviously, with Pep Lijnders' contacts as well, that probably played a part in this. I'm sure they got in contact with Pep Lijnders to inquire about Marco Grujic. And look, he is a good quality footballer. Might not be ready to slot into our midfield yet, but this will give him great experience, Champions League football and all, as I said. So I wish him all the best. Right, loads of us to get through tonight. There's transfer talk, which we thought wouldn't be happening, obviously, with the window being closed. But I want to just take you through one thing before we go into the transfer talk, ladies and gentlemen. I touched on Marco Grujic on loan a few minutes ago in the stream there. Well, a few seconds ago, actually. But the move also solves a bit of a lingering headache for the club, because Premier League rules state that clubs can register 25 first team players who are over the age of 21 for the season. In addition to the numbers, at least 8 players need to either be under the category of homegrown players or academy players under the age of 21. Marco Grujic moving on means the gaffer now has the 17 spots required for the non-homegrown players filled, and can supplement that with 8 players I mentioned in the previous categories. I'm going to pull up an image now just so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll still hear me, but the image will be up on the screen right now. So the non-homegrown players currently at Liverpool, the 17 that Jurgen Klopp has been able to register: Alisson, Adrian, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Joe Matip, Costa Simicas, Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum, Thiago, Naby Keita, Xherdan Shaqiri, Roberto Firmino, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah, Takumi Minamino, Diogo Jota and Divock Origi. And then the players who fall under homegrown are Quivin Kelleher, Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Nat Phillips, I'm gathering that that's Neco Williams, Vandenberg, Milner, Hendo, Chambo, Jones, Woodburn, Wilson and Elliott. So they're the 25 that Liverpool have registered, the 17 with the 8 homegrown players as well. Now we can supplement that, as I said earlier on, with any player under the age of 21 as well. So that was a headache that we needed to solve, and Grujic moving on loan does solve that headache. So it kind of works for everybody with regards to that loan period, and Grujic getting experience, so it's a win-win. But just wanted to touch on that one before we get into what you guys are probably wondering about tonight. Sorry, I was clicking on the wrong buttons there. You guys are probably wondering about the title of tonight's stream, about Upamecano and all that kind of stuff. And don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging, folks. You know me. What else we got? Some of your Reece Williams needs more time, said Paul Prince. Absolutely. He looks like a quality player, young Reece Williams. He hasn't put a foot wrong since I've seen him anyway. Right, Upamecano. Any news on Upamecano people want to know? Yes, there are. There's a lot of news starting to come out around the Upamecano thing. Now, I want to clear something up because I was reading the comments before the stream and there are a few people who seem to be a bit confused right now about how Liverpool can potentially go and sign some players, but then they're confused about the Upamecano stuff. Right now, as things stand, up until next Friday, Premier League clubs and English League clubs can still do business together. There's an extended window there. FIFA and UEFA allow clubs to have a 12-week transfer window, and the agreement between European clubs was that the window closed on October the 5th for most of the major leagues, but English clubs, i.e. Premier League clubs down the EFL and below, can still do business. The only caveat to that is Premier League clubs cannot do business with each other. So Liverpool, as an example, with Butland, who we'll talk about, could go to Stoke and put in an offer for Butland, whether it be loan or permanent. So just to clear that up, because I've seen a few people in the chat who are a bit confused. So let's get on to Daya Upamecano. Reports coming out of Germany suggest that Liverpool and Manchester United will battle it out to sign Leipzig centre-back Daya Upamecano next summer. Now, the reason that people are talking about next summer and the reason it wasn't done this summer is because next summer his new lower release clause kicks in. That release clause is €40 million. He signed a new contract extension a while back. He could have left on a free, but they did get him to sign that contract extension. And one of the payoffs in that, I suppose, for Leipzig was that they had to accept a lower release clause. So that €40 million release clause kicks in next summer. And for a defender who's still only 21 years of age, but as experienced as Upamecano is, that seems like an absolute bargain. And it kind of answers the question about maybe why we didn't go in for a centre-back in this window. And I said to you guys before, it does give Jurgen Klopp the option to use Firmino at centre-back and look ahead then to see how the likes of Billy Cometio develops, Reece Williams, Sepp van den Berg, and of course maybe keep an eye out for the likes of Upamecano next summer. Now, if we can pick him up next summer and beat United to that signing for €40 million, which is around about £37 million, that is an absolute steal for a quality centre-back. And I really hope that we're already in his ear trying to get that sorted out for next summer, because it's a name that came up so much between Liverpool fans when we spoke about possible centre-back options looking ahead. We knew the Koulibalys of this world were never realistic. We knew that the Diego Carlos price was a little bit too high for our liking. But when this report came out of Germany, I believe it started with build, but the release clause was factual. €40 million next summer. So it's us and United again going head to head. That's going to see who can get over the line. United had their chance obviously with Sancho this summer. They shit the bed on that one. There's a lot of stuff going around. Maybe Pochettino being tapped up for the United job. Maybe they're going to wait and try and spend big next summer if Pochettino comes in. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest, about Manchester United side of things. But Liverpool are in a really good place right now, and Upamecano would look at our club and think to himself, surely that's where he wants to go to continue his development under a manager who has proved that he can bring players through, coach them and improve them, unlike Mr. Solskjaer up the road at Old Trafford. Now, I'm not knocking Solskjaer. He's a younger manager, hasn't got as much experience as Klopp, obviously, but if it's a head-to-head battle, surely to God we come out on top. I mean, the only difference there might be that Manchester United could potentially be willing to pay him wages far in excess of what Liverpool will be willing to pay him. But then again, we'll have to wait and see. From a playing perspective, and purely from a playing perspective, obviously most players would look at this club, play alongside Virgil van Dijk at the heart of that Liverpool defence under Jurgen Klopp, for a club that I don't know how we'll get on this season, but I'm sure we'll do well. We'll go deep in Europe, I'm sure, and hopefully retain the Premier League. We surely are an attractive option to Upamecano, and I've yet to come across really a single Liverpool fan that would say no to us getting that deal done. So it kind of becomes a bit more clear now why this summer the centre-back option wasn't perhaps looked at. We can get away with Fabinho. We have Joe Matip, Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk as well. Obviously we've got the younger players if necessary, But I'm liking what I'm hearing already. I'm liking the fact that we're already trying to get these things sorted out. We're already in players' ears for next summer. So keep an eye on this one, folks. It's a long time to go yet, I know. But as I said, that release clause does kick in at €40 million, so clubs can go and get Upamecano next year. And I'm sure that Liverpool are going to monitor him throughout the season as well. It would be a fantastic piece of business. It really would. And I've spoken about Jurgen Klopp trying to build his second team at Liverpool. And by second team, I always like to reiterate that transition from maybe the older players into him building his second, hopefully, title-winning team. Well, if you brought in Upamecano, if you had the likes of Sepp van den Berg, you have Trent Alexander-Arnold, Neco Williams, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, could bring back Raheem Brewster if we wanted to, young goalkeeper Pitaluga and Quevian Kelleher as well, and many, many other fine young players coming through. You can see that transition taking place in the next year or two. So exciting times ahead for the Reds, and I'm going to keep trying to put a positive spin on everything, because it's very hard to take our minds off that Aston Villa defeat when we know what's coming ahead. That tough game at Goodison Park against Everton after the international break, one that it's definitely a must not lose for Liverpool anyway. I can't wait. I'm almost counting down the days right now to that one. But Upamecano anyway. Let me know your thoughts on him in the comment section. If you're watching this back later on, if you're in the live chat now, let me know your thoughts on Upamecano as well. If you're a United fan, would you like to have this guy in your team? And do you think he can outmuscle Liverpool financially? Potentially. Now, the release clause is the release clause, so no one's going to surely pay above that. But when it comes to wages and stuff, I don't know, maybe United will be able to offer more money than Liverpool. Actually, they will, because they've already paid higher than our wage structure. We don't have anybody at the club that I'm aware that's on more than a base wage of roughly 220 grand a week, I think, would be our highest earner. Now, I could be wrong on that by a little bit, but, you know, United have paid Alexis Sanchez a lot more than that. I think they're even paying Dean Henderson more than that, or at least up somewhere around that, and they're paying David De Gea about 350 grand a week as well. So, as I've always told you guys, the only reason United are in a mess right now is the reason that they're being run, basically. They've got owners and Ed Woodward there that just don't seem to either care about the club or have a clue what's going on. So, these are the times when we should be looking to capitalise on that mess at Old Trafford before the likes of maybe Pochettino comes in and maybe they start looking like a bit more appealing to players like Upamecano than they may do right now. So again, let me know your thoughts on them. Sancho and Upamecano next season. Boom, Sadine. I like it, mate. Well played. United trolls are back again. This is what I don't get. Did they not realise that they're still awful? Like, we lost the game 7-2. Great, no problem. We'll all take that on the chin and move on. But as I keep reiterating, we know that was a blip. We know that was a once-off performance that we won't see again from Liverpool. I understand United may not get beaten 6-1 again. I'd be fairly certain that they wouldn't. But still, as the season ahead, it's much, much rosier times for Liverpool right now than it is for Manchester United. So I don't get why United fans think that they can banter us. It just shows that they're scared of us, really, and that they have to come across and, I don't know, try and find any weakness in our armour and try and have a little pop. But there isn't much weakness here, folks. So enjoy the 7-2. Enjoy that little moment, that little victory you took in us losing a game of football. It must be mad, like, if that's what you're celebrating on the day your own club lose 6-1. You're trying to find solace in the fact that we lost 7-2. It's a bit mad, isn't it? Like, I mean, come on. Just try and, play that over in your head a little bit. Just doesn't make much sense. Now, look, I'm fair game. Absolutely have a pop at me, call me an idiot, do whatever you want, don't care. But with regard to the two clubs, as I keep saying, we know which one is in a better place moving forward. Right, I'm going to move on in a couple of minutes, folks, and have a talk about Jack Butland, another option for Liverpool, and we'll go through that in a few minutes as well. But I just want to take you through a few things that are coming up on the channel. I'm absolutely delighted to announce that I'm going to be recording that interview with Paul Tompkins of the Tompkins Times next week. I don't know when it's going to be out because we have to edit it up and stuff, but I've been reading Paul's book, getting my notes ready for the interview. If you haven't read Pearce yet, or any of Paul Tompkins' books, I'm sure a lot of you guys are regular readers of the Tompkins Times. This has been the interview that I've been looking to get for 2 years. It's the interview that a lot of people have asked us to go and get as well. I was lucky enough to have Paul Tompkins on a podcast a few years back. He doesn't do many interviews for varying reasons, and we're delighted to be able to have him on. And not only that, Paul Tompkins is going to give us 3 signed copies of his book to give away as well, but we'll be doing that giveaway during the course of that video, so make sure you keep an eye out for that in the coming weeks. Another giveaway coming up on the channel. Our 50k giveaway is going to come up too. As I said, the biggest giveaway we've ever done on the channel, so keep an eye out for that one. And if you want to get a free shirt, by the way, have a look in our Flick chat group. Flick are conducting a survey at the minute, and all you have to do is take their survey and you're in with a chance to win any Premier League shirt of your choice, or I think any shirt of your choice. The Flick chat link is in the description below. It's completely free to join. We've over 1,200 people in the Anfield Agenda Flick chat right now, and it continues to grow on a daily basis, so it's completely free. Download it from the link below and come over and have some fun with us over the international break. Try and kill some time while we count down to the real football being back. Now, this is where I tell you I'm a hypocrite, because I always tell you I'm not a fan of international football, but I will 100% be taking tomorrow night off because Ireland are in action and I'm going to watch that game. So yeah, this is where me being a hypocrite comes in again. So I definitely promise you, I know I've said it before, won't be live tomorrow night, folks. So it'll be tonight and then maybe Friday. So keep your comments coming anyway. Fantastic interview, said Liz Golden. I'm so excited about this interview, Liz. I really am. If there's one brain I'd love to pick on all things Liverpool related, it is Paul Tompkins. To me, he is fantastic. And actually, while we're talking about Paul Tompkins, I want to give a shout out to an article that he put out there in the Tompkins Times today. The Tompkins Times is a paywall service, but this particular article is free for everybody to read. There's a link to the article in the description below. And the title of the article, or the form of the article, is about Martin Atkinson and his decision making against Liverpool. It is done not with me ranting and raving. It is done with Paul and his staff going in, getting the statistics and proving that Martin Atkinson really does not like Liverpool Football Club and does have a bee in his bonnet when it comes to refereeing the games. Paul and the article go through it in far more detail and better than I could ever do. So again, if you want to have a look at that article, it's completely free. The link is in the description below. It'll give you a little taste of what you can get from the Tompkins Times and from Paul. I read the article earlier on and I have to say it has only increased my dislike, my disdain for Martin Atkinson as a referee. Every time he referees a Liverpool game, there seems to be something dodgy going on with it, whether it be a penalty that we don't get given, whether it be the foul on Divock Origi that led to Manchester United's goal last year in the 1-1 draw at Old Trafford that wasn't given, or numerous other things that Paul points out in that interview, or that article I should say, excuse me. Do check it out, link in the description, or just go and check out the Tompkins Times or the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. Right, let's move on. Some more stuff you people want to talk about. You people, that's not a really good way of saying it, Craig. You legends, that's the way. I love hanging out in your streams. Feels like I'm with my extended Red family. That's why I love it as well. That's why I can't take days off. I miss everybody when I take a day off. I love coming on here and chatting with you guys, even through the international breaks. I find that it helps us get through this stuff together. So yeah, absolutely great comment, mate, and thank you. Harry Graham, first super chat of the night. How are you, Harry? Actually, do you know what, Harry? To reward your first super chat of the night, well, I read it out. Let's get Newland Vider up for a little boogie there on the counter. The only way United will get Upamecano is if he wants to play every week on high wages. It'll be very tough for him to get into the Liverpool team, said Harry Graham. It's a good point, but again, if you're Upamecano and you've got belief in yourself, you're looking at Joe Gomez, you're looking at Joel Matip, and you're thinking, do you know what? I can force my way in there, and if I get that jersey, I'm going to keep it. But I suppose that's the calibre of footballer that it takes to come into Liverpool when you look at this squad and back yourself to get into it. It takes a very strong person mentally to be able to look at the squad we have and decide that you're going to come in and force yourself a place. So, good show, Harry, and we'll see what happens over the summer. Craig, did you see the video of Mo Salah giving the homeless man taken away from the hooligan? Yes, if you haven't seen this video, and I don't know how it's come to light, by the way, a video has emerged of, in a petrol station, Mohamed Salah was there, and there was a homeless person that I think was being harassed by somebody. Mohamed Salah went over, told the people to stop harassing him, that homelessness could happen to anybody at any point, and I think he then went to the ATM and took out £100 for the man to give it to him. I think the footage was caught maybe on the petrol station camera or something, but it's only come to light recently. I think it happened after the Arsenal game, if my memory's correct on this one. But look, we've always known that the likes of Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, they're wonderful human beings. They really are. They are so humble and kind and down to earth, and a lot of Premier League footballers are, to be honest. Like they're wonderful people that make amazing gestures that we never hear about. So again, massive shout out to Mo, but to all the players that do great work like that. Just a quality lad. Just a pleasure to have him at our football club. Right, here we go. Rob Salmon said, is Jack Butland coming to Liverpool? Nothing is certain, mate, no, but we will touch on Jack Butland now for a minute. So, unsurprisingly, Liverpool are now the bookies' favourites to make a move for Stoke's goalkeeper Jack Butland before the EFL transfer deadline closes, which is next Friday. And with Alisson ruled out for around 6 weeks with a shoulder injury, and Adrian unfortunately proven yet again that he's not really up to scratch, if we're being honest with it, maybe something can happen here. Now, as people have pointed out in the chat as well, a lot of this talk seems to stem from Paul Robinson doing an interview with, I think it was Inside Football, again, if I remember that correctly, and bringing up the fact that Jack Butland is somebody Liverpool could go and have a look at, and hence the articles and stuff start coming out about it. Now, from the club's point of view, I genuinely have no idea if Liverpool are going to make a move for Jack Butland. I hope that they do, even if it's a short-term deal till January. And if Jack Butland did come in, no joking aside, I would much rather him go in and start in goal than Adrian. I always find these conversations extremely hard on Caoimhín Kelleher, because I would have no problem whatsoever with Caoimhín Kelleher being given the opportunity, but it doesn't seem that he will be given that opportunity ahead of Adrian. So maybe an experienced hand like Jack Butland, just to get us through a short period, could be the answer. We'll find out, I suppose, before next Friday's deadline. But I want to know your thoughts on it in the chat, in the comments below. If you're watching this back later on, would you be happy to have Jack Butland at Liverpool? Have you seen any more rumours or links to it? I don't imagine it will be a permanent deal. I imagine it might be a loan deal for a short period. But you know, we do have a lot of young players as well that we're perhaps looking to move on and get experience. So maybe you could see a deal where we put one player to Stoke and they send us Jack Butland. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit optimistic here. But it is something worth keeping an eye on in what is still a transfer window that's open, as I said, between Premier League and EFL clubs. Now, Premier League clubs can't do business with each other. So those that are perhaps asking for the likes of Gazaniga from Spurs, that can't be done because we can't do business with other Premier League clubs. Only Championship clubs or below. And then, of course, they can do business with Premier League clubs as well until next Friday's EFL window shuts. I beg for Butland, said Shalom Mister. Yeah, look, it's a difficult situation, isn't it? Because we are in a bit of a pickle at the minute. If we're being honest with ourselves, I mean, we don't want to disrespect Adrian because he's a Liverpool player, but we can be honest about it here and say that it'll worry us. It'll worry us every game he plays till Alisson's back. And just a safe pair of gloves just to guide us through these games. Perhaps give a little bit of confidence back to that back four who looked void of confidence after that first goal. I keep going back to the expression on Virgil van Dijk's face, but I've no doubt that goal played into that result. As well as a very good Villa performance, by the way. And I'm not going to stop congratulating them on the win because the Dean Smith and that Aston Villa team thoroughly deserve to be credited for that victory. How can you join a group in the Flick app? Click on it. I don't mean to be rude, mate, but that's literally it. You scroll down, find the group, but if you go to the link in our description, that should bring you straight to our group. But if you go back out of it, then you'll see all the groups listed. You'll get to know the app as you play through it. It's a class app, by the way. We do our man of the match votes on Flick Chat. We do polls to ask you guys your opinion on different things. We have a transfer window section. We've got an FPL section on there as well. And we're going to do lots of other bits and pieces in Flick Chat, so do give it a try. What else we got? A keeper out of form can undermine the entire defence. Situation with Adrian more serious than you think. Mate, I'm well aware. As a former goalkeeper myself, I'm aware that when I went through a really crap period, it definitely affected my team. So I can only imagine if you multiply that to the level that, you know, the pressure that the guys play under week in and week out. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Look, none of us thought that Alisson was going to be as injured as he unfortunately has been in the past couple of seasons. Now, it's just a couple of serious long injuries. It's not like he's forever picking up injuries, but he had played a whole heap of games in a row before his injury. So when we signed Adrian, nobody probably expected him included, to play this many games. So it's unfortunate that Alisson picked up that shoulder injury. 6 weeks. Hopefully it could be a bit quicker, but it's looking like it probably will be around the 6 week mark. Another one, yeah, Ben Foster at Watford. Somebody else said we could absolutely go and look at Ben Foster from Watford, or any goalkeeper in the Championship for that matter. Now, you have to remember as well that the club would have to be willing to lose a keeper at this point. So if you're flying high in the Championship and your goalkeeper's playing well, you're not going to want Liverpool to come in there and try and take your keeper. So there has to be a realistic option to this. Now, there's another name that we can't not talk about while we're talking about maybe Watford there, and that is, of course, Ismaila Sarr, because this has gone completely under the radar. Technically, any Premier League club could still go in there right now and sign Ismaila Sarr from Watford, because that deal can still be done because the window's open and Watford are still a Championship club that any Premier League club can do business with. I'm not saying that we're going to go in this window and get Ismaila Sarr. I'm just saying it's worth keeping an eye on, because maybe the likes of United, who didn't get the players they wanted over the line, could look at it. Maybe Liverpool could try and structure a deal there to sort something out for next season. Maybe Liverpool no longer have any interest in Ismaila Sarr after going out there and signing Diogo Jota, but it is still one that can be done. Other players in the Championship may be worth looking at for Premier League club, the likes of Buendia, the likes of Todd Cantwell as well. More players that could be looked at. Now, obviously, at this moment in time, it doesn't look like Liverpool have a great relationship with Norwich, but we do know that the club had been tracking Todd Cantwell for many seasons. So, again, still options there, believe it or not. And we do love a relegated club signing. Rabadan, how are you, my friend? Said, are we in for Upamecano? Praise God. Right, so for those coming in a little bit late, I'll just recap really quickly on the Upamecano situation. So, the reports out of Germany have confirmed that Liverpool and Manchester United look like they're going to go head-to-head for Daya Upamecano next summer. The reason for next summer is that his lower release clause kicks in next summer and he's available for €40 million, which is a hell of a lot cheaper than probably his market value for somebody who's just 21 years of age, as experienced as he is. You can see why he's very attractive at that price point. It was a deal that he struck with Leipzig in order to extend his contract, that he did have that lower release clause if clubs came in for him. So looks like Liverpool United going head to head for him. But don't Watford want all the money up front? Yes, that was the reason that a lot of clubs had walked away. I heard prices ranging from 40 to 50 million quid that they were looking for Sarr. But like anything else, unhappy players maybe getting into the rear as the window moves on. I don't know, you might see something, you might not. I wouldn't be very confident that Liverpool will go back in for Sarr, because I don't really think we need another forward at this moment in time, to be honest. But the Ben Foster thing was a good shout. The Jack Butland thing could be a good shout. And there are probably a few other decent keepers that Liverpool could look to there in the Championship, maybe for a short-term loan. Liverpool should buy Wilfred Zaha. Nah, you're alright, mate. Hey Craig, I missed the first bit of the screen. Can you do the Upamecano stuff? I've just done it, so I'm sure that you've caught it there, my friend. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're really close to hitting 52,000 subscribers, actually. I think we're only about 20 away. So if you're new to the channel, you haven't hit that subscribe button, it'd be lovely to do it tonight. So please do hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well, and of course share your thoughts on whatever we've spoken about. Right, more stuff to get through as well. The Daily Star have today reported that pretty much what I've been saying on the channel and many other Liverpool channels have been saying for quite a while. Harry Wilson and Shaqiri will be made available for a permanent transfer in the January window. So, Liverpool didn't get the deal for Shaqiri over the line. We know that there was clubs interested, which is the reason he was pulled out of the League Cup game. And we know that Harry Wilson was of interest to Burnley, but they walked away from that deal because we couldn't agree a fee. It was really strange because actually I spoke to James Pearce when we interviewed them on the channel about that particular deal, and we both thought that it would get done because Liverpool wanted around £20 million for Harry Wilson. I think they may have been willing to accept something like 15 up front with maybe 5 in add-ons and stuff like that. And the price that was rumoured to be offered by Burnley was 12 million with 4 million in add-ons. So there wasn't a million miles away there. You thought that might have got done. It didn't. They walked away from it. But I'm sure clubs will come back in for Harry Wilson and Shaqiri in that January market. So again, the club could look to recoup some money there, because I think we're still we're net about 33 million or something like that spend in the summer window, and I'm sure the club would have been hoping to try and get that almost to the 0 point where it was, a sell to buy summer. So yeah, keep an eye on that as well for the upcoming window. What else we got? What about Ben Foster? Again, we spoke about him, another option, but we also have to remember that clubs are going to have to be willing to do business here. If you're in the Championship and you're fighting to get back up into the Premier League, you're not going to want to lose your first choice goalkeeper, even if it's only for a few months. So it has to be an attractive package, and it has to work for both clubs, and whatever deal could potentially be done. Zaha's a fantastic shout. If you could keep the price down, possibly send the player the other way, such as Origi. He's been trying to engineer a move out of Crystal Palace for a long time. And what is he now, 27, 28? I don't think that's the type of deal Liverpool will be looking to do, to be honest with you. Very good player, no doubt about that, but I don't think he'll be a Liverpool player at any point. Do you think we had a better deal buying Jota than Sarr? Said Jason Lewis. Thank you for the question, Jason. I suppose which way you look at it. I mean, both answers I'm actually going to say yes. If you offer, and I'm not even going to lie, Diogo Jota never entered my mind in the summer transfer window when we were linked with the likes of Sarr and stuff like that. And I don't think many people gave a shout to Diogo Jota. But once you heard his name being mentioned and you realised Liverpool were actually in for him and getting that deal done, it made sense immediately. So as well as him being better suited to our system, he's a press machine according to Pep Linders. Pep Linders, as I said to you guys before, did a lot of research on Diogo Jota with his contacts in Portugal, and Jurgen Klopp said he'd been monitoring Jota for 3 or 4 years as a player. So I think that, coupled with the fact that the 45 million transfer fee, we only paid about 9.5 million up front, and Wolves were willing to accept the rest in instalments later on. So it worked in a number of ways, so I think it was just a better deal for the club all around. And even if it was a straight one or the other, I would have taken Diogo Jota, if I'm being honest. What did I miss, Craig, today or Endgame? Whatever you missed, don't worry, I'll recap it before we finish up tonight. Don't you worry about that one. Crosby said that Zaha has Everton written all over him. That could be a shout, you know. I knew Wilson wouldn't go. Why would you want an average championship player if you're looking for promotion? What? Nobody was looking for promotion though. Burnley are in the Premier League, mate. They aren't looking for promotion, and that was the. I think you're a bit confused there, Carl. Craig, Adrian will concede a minimum of 2 goals a match for us. Said Good Morning Britain. GMB. I don't know. I am as worried as everybody else about Adrian starting for us. And look, there's no point in us hiding that or denying that fact. We're nervous about Adrian being in goal for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Garrett Meyer, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Said, thoughts on Gomez? He's getting a lot of criticism. I love him and think he's one of the best centre backs in the league who's just had a bad game. It's a little bit more than one bad game, but again, Joe Gomez is still very young for a centre back. He seems to have been around forever and he's gained a lot of experience, but does he still have flaws in his game? Yes. But he's continuing to learn, and he will continue to learn. I thought actually in the 2 brief stints that we'd seen him come back since his injury before the Aston Villa game, when he came on in the EFL Cup and he played, I think he replaced Virgil van Dijk around the hour mark. He looked back to his best. He looked full of confidence. He was doing really well in tight areas, turning and making runs forward. But then, like the whole Liverpool team, to be honest, outside of Mohamed Salah, against Aston Villa, that all went out the window. So I do have a lot of respect and admiration for Joe Gomez. I think he's a very good centre-back. But there are holes in his game. But I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure the coaching staff know that. And he's not the finished article yet. But, you know, there's still time on his side. So let's not be going in two-footed on Joe Gomez. Gomez will come good, said Genie. Sancho can take Mane's spot, said Jesus Giral or Jesus Giral. I'm not sure which way I'm supposed to pronounce that. Yeah, look, the Mane thing, I did a little bit last night actually on the stream about the importance of Sadio Mane and how I really do not want Liverpool to lose him next summer at all. Even we brought in Diogo Jota, Minamino. You can see when we're missing. There's so many things, so many reasons why Sadio Mane is important to Liverpool. The press starts from the front. Our defending starts from the front. When we're playing that high line, if we don't defend from the front, we don't press from the attackers and the midfielders, that allows players to get on the ball like the likes of McGinn did and Jack Grealish, and find space in behind. You need to be putting pressure on the players so they can't get their head up and they can't pick out those passes. Because let's be honest, when you play a high line like we do, the margin for error in behind is quite big. So you just have to drop the ball into an area and then hope for a pacey forward to get in on the end of it. Which is why you need that press, and Sadio so important to that. Do you see a future for Ben Woodburn at the club? No, I didn't. As soon as he made the Oxford move, I thought that was the end for Ben Woodburn. Hope he goes on to have a great career wherever he ends up, but honest opinion, no, I don't see a future from him. Liz said Mane is one of a kind and he's ours. How great is that, Liz? I absolutely love Sadio Mane. I never can get that song out of my head when Sadio's playing. Do you think we stand a big chance against Everton? Yes, of course I do, mate. I mean, they haven't won a Merseyside derby in, 10 years now, something like that. They are much improved this season. They're going to come into the game full of confidence, and Ancelotti's a great manager. It's going to be a very tough game, no doubt about it. I'm probably not as confident as I was before the Villa game, but I'm still very confident that we'll go there and get a result. I think it's a must-not-lose game for Liverpool. I don't think we're yet at a point where it's a must-win game, but it's definitely a must-not-lose game for a few reasons. What have we got? 23 for Joe Gomez. That's crazy. 23, that is mad that he's still that young. Like, it's crazy that you think how long he's been around as well. Connor gone full in with the cheesy lines. I'm not even reading them out, Crosby, they're that bad. Right, folks, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. We could hit 52k on this stream. I think we're just a handful away at this point. I love how Craig involves the chat so much. Thank you, mate. I mean, what we do is community based. We've said it from day one. Without you guys being involved in the shows, they wouldn't be as popular as they have been. I'm just a conduit between the chat and the microphone. I have an easy job, but it's you guys that make the content on Anfield Agenda. I've said that from the start. I have a few notes and little bits and pieces that I go through, but without you guys coming in with the questions, the show wouldn't be what it is. And I'll be quite honest with you, when I look at the likes of Mark and what he does in the United Stand, when I look at Redmen and what they do and various other channels, I couldn't do what they do. They have their own unique style and the way they go about it. I'm more someone that needs the interaction. I need to be able to dip into the chat because the chat helps me out, bails me out when I have my memory losses, because let's be honest, I forget a lot of stuff on here and you guys have bailed me out a lot. So yeah, I love that the chat gets so involved in it. And it's one of the downsides, actually, that when the channel grows and the chat becomes busier, I'll get to see less of the comments and interact less. So it's one of the few downsides to us growing. But the more members we get to the family, the better it is. So look, I'm enjoying myself. And if you're already a member of the channel, by the way, and by member I mean part of Anfield Agenda FC, don't forget to come over and join our Discord group. It's part of your membership. If you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, all you have to do is either click the join button or have a look in the description of the stream and click on that link there. Membership is $4.99 a month, pretty much in line with most other channels. And what you get for your membership is all the custom emojis, the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name, which changes over time. Starts bronze, then silver, gold, then eventually red. You also get access to our Discord group and a few other bits and pieces as well. But most importantly, really help the channel out with regards to keeping the lights on and stuff. So really appreciate everyone that is a member. And don't forget, if you are, the Discord group is there for you. It's part of your membership. King Kong Bundy is a Liverpool fan. God, you must be old, mate. As old as myself. I mean, I'll put aside the fat bald slagging for a minute and just reflect on how old we both must be. I remember the days of King Kong Bundy, mate. I remember the days of wrestling in its heyday. So it's a good shout, but you're showing your age there, mate. I'll take the slagging on the chin because it's part of the banter. But there you go. Do you think Salah is a club legend? Not yet, no. But I mean, he'll go down. By the time he leaves Liverpool, yeah, he would have won us a Premier League along with these other players, a European Cup, Super Cup, Club World Cup, broken a whole heap of goal scoring records. He will, eventually, yeah. But, it's very rare that you think of people as legends while they're still at the club. Maybe Gerrard being an obvious exception and Cara maybe. But, yeah, he will be. Loads of time. What about Gazaniga from Spurs? It's not possible because you can't do that trade in the window. So it would have to be a January deal. And at that point, let's be honest, we probably have Alisson back and we may dip our toes into the market to do something permanent. I don't know. And don't forget, we do have young Pitaluga as well, who we bought in the summer. But still a little bit early, I think, for him to come in. Right, what else have we got? Would Mbappe be able to replace Firmino? Doesn't play in the same position for a start. Not even a similar type of player. Would he be able to link up or attack and play like Firmino does? Well, you different things completely there. With Kylian Mbappe, you're going to get pace, energy, power, and yes, of course, to be able to link up, attack, and play. But he plays better in a wide position, and he won't be coming to Liverpool, so we won't need to worry about it. But look, Kylian Mbappe is a superstar. Wherever he goes, he'll do well. Let's sign Son from Spurs, mate. so many of us have looked at Son and thought that he'd do so well in this Liverpool team. Spurs have an excellent player there in Son, and look, he looks settled and happy there, so I don't think he'll be moving on. What have we got? Craig, you've got mad support in Jamaica. Love your show, and to be honest, the Villa game was the worst in years, so I can live with it. Thank you, Andre. We do actually have quite a few people that watch us from Jamaica, which is nuts. So hello, shout out to all of you guys. I hope you're well. I was lucky enough to visit Jamaica, albeit for a brief period at one point in my life, and it was wonderful. I hope to go back there someday as well. So thank you, mate. Love to know where people are watching from. The Firmino slander makes me absolutely furious, says Frycolour LFC. I'm Bobby's Firmino's one of his biggest fans, mate. I've said it time and time again. He's my favourite player at the club, but even I have to admit that Bobby Firmino was out of form at the minute. I mean, that's okay. We're able to say that as fans. We're not having a dig at him. We're not saying he's shy. We're not like going on social media and tearing him to shreds. But the honest conversation needs to be had about Firmino. He needs to up his game again. Now, I think a saving grace for him might be that he is perfectly suited to the Everton game, Bobby Firmino. The game's going to be played at 100 miles an hour. It'll suit Bobby Firmino. And I think that might keep him in the team for this game. If he doesn't perform against Everton, though, I have a funny feeling that we might see Takumi Minamino or Diogo Jota maybe taking a spot, even Salah going through the centre, and maybe Minamino out on the right hand side or something. But yeah, it's I think it's a fair conversation, and it kills me to say it because I love Bobby, but you know, nobody is beyond reproach. California in the house with Johnny Quid, love it, mate. Welcome in. Haaland for Firmino. Look, I've spoken about young Haaland, Erling Haaland as well, or Erling Haaland, excuse me. He's settled at Borussia Dortmund. He's always wanted to play in the Bundesliga. He's really, really young. He's going to play Champions League football, gain invaluable experience. Leave him there. I mean, if I'm representing him, I'm leaving him at Dortmund for the next season and a half. Because he's grand and he's got his whole career ahead of him. And when he does move, I think we're going to be talking almost world record fees for that kid. Unless there's some type of a buyout clause that I'm not aware of. People are saying that he's trash, but he fits our system perfectly. If that's in relation to Firmino, he absolutely does, mate. Yes, no argument with you whatsoever. Bobby Firmino completely suits Liverpool's system. And as Brian said, Haaland and Bobby again, totally different types of player. Mings or Watkins, I don't rate Tyrone Mings. I must be one of the only people that doesn't see the appeal of Tyrone Mings. I don't know. Maybe I just have an inherent bias against them for some reason. Or maybe I still think of him as a championship level defender. I don't know, but it just, for me, just doesn't do it. Maybe I'm blinded to the fact. Do we think Ireland can win tomorrow? Well, it's the reason I won't be doing the stream tomorrow, because I'm going to be watching that game. It's going to be very difficult, obviously, away from home, but, you know, never write us off. In a one-off game, anything is possible. Do you think we can get Sancho? Fabrizio said United are the only one who can afford Sancho next season. Look, the tap-in merchant has gotten a load of stuff wrong over this window. I can point you to 3 or 4 things that Fabrizio has gotten wrong in this window. So don't worry about Fabrizio Romano. He is not God. He's a very good and well-respected journalist. But everybody gets shit wrong. And Sancho didn't end up at United this transfer window. And I really think that was it. They've missed their opportunity. Liverpool and Bayern Munich, according to The Independent, are the ones leading the way now for Jadon Sancho for next summer. I spoke about it on last night's stream as well. Very good article written on this if you want to go have a look at it, from Miguel Delaney in The Independent about this. And I was actually shocked to learn that Bayern Munich were the other club that were leading the race with Liverpool. And it even speaks about somebody from inside Sancho's camp saying that, you know, he does like the idea of Liverpool. So do you know what I mean? We could be there. Now, how we fund that deal, that's a whole another conversation. But Klopp likes Sancho. Sancho will look at Liverpool and think, oh, hello, look at our front line. Look at what could be playing with week in and week out. Look who could be managing me. We're a very attractive proposition. So, with all due respect to Mr. Fabrizio Romano, no journalist has got everything right this summer. No journalist will ever get everything right. So, I don't take anything as gospel when anybody says it. He didn't sign for United this summer. They literally had a free run at him for the whole summer and shit the bed. So, I don't think he's going to end up at United. That's my take on it anyway. Craig, how would the signing be possible after the market is shut? Again, which signing are we talking about here, JRB Football? Again, you put the comment in a few times. Will you please stop spamming the same comment, mate? You're going to get kicked out. I see 4 of the same comment within one page here. I'll answer the questions as and when I can, but stop spamming them, because I don't want you to get booted out by your mods. It's not me having a go with you. I don't give a shit what's in the chat. I'll just pick out what I can. But yeah, I'd like to know which one you're talking about. You keep saying how would it be possible, but again, I need to know what player you're talking about in order to answer that. And I will answer it as soon as I see your comment, mate. Craig, can I sign for Anfield Agenda? It's funny you mentioned that, because with the Anfield Agenda podcast that we're going to be bringing out after the international break, we are going to have a rotating place available for people to come on and have a spot. So we'll bring on the likes of Jace Roberts, who's going to come on as an example to do a few bits. Maybe Jack Gill, that does some bits of Red Men, will come on every now and again. Maybe we get a couple of people from our chat. I don't know. But yeah, the podcast's going to be starting after the international break. So, I mean, you may have said this and that in jest, but there might be a spot there. Upamecano, we're talking about next summer, mate. I mean, you've come in late, obviously, on that one. I'll go through it again real quick. The reason that Upamecano's in the headlines tonight is because an article has come out that said Liverpool and Manchester United will go head-to-head for Daya Upamecano next summer. His lower release clause of €40 million kicks in, which means that, you know, there's going to be a whole queue, but Liverpool and United look like they're at the front of that queue to sign him for €40 million next summer. So it can't be done at the moment. You're right. The only business that can be done right now is between Premier League clubs and lower league clubs, so Championship and below, or vice versa, those clubs and back up. Premier League clubs cannot do business with each other, and the window will shut next Friday. Right, what else have we got? What happened to Wardy? It just didn't work out, unfortunately, for a few reasons. Some changes in his personal circumstances and the joys of it. Do you know what I mean? It's you have to understand, to do what we do on here and to do it for free, it takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment, and sometimes that commitment dawns on people, or something changes in their personal life and they just realise that they won't be able to commit to it. And I would much prefer somebody says that to me at the start than somebody, you know, a few months down the line when we've bedded them in, you know, something pops up and they can't do it. So it is what it is, unfortunately, but yeah, it's a shame, but we move on. Right, what else we got? Imagine if Adrian has a man of the match performance against Everton. Nothing would make me happier, Elijah John, mate. Nothing would make me happier than him to come out and have a worldie against Everton. That would be class. Right, are we buying Butland? I touched on that again. I'll cover it in a few minutes. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just make something really, really clear. Tomorrow won't be here. I know I've said this a lot, and I have been, but Ireland are playing tomorrow, so I'm going to watch that. So tonight, I'm probably going to stay on a little bit longer, if that's okay, because I want to get through as many of your questions as I can, because there's a lot of you guys in the chat, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. So all I'm going to ask you to do is hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already, drop a like on the video, and keep your questions coming. I'm going to stay on for another half an hour, so if you want to stay with us, I'll answer as many of your questions as I can. Keep them coming into the chat. As I said, don't forget to join the Flick chat group as well, link in the description, and giveaways and lots of other stuff coming up as well. So stay with Anfield Agenda over the international break. We'll keep you going. Let's buy Butland, said Manly Game. Sorry, I need a drink. I very rarely do this on the stream, but I need a drink, so apologies. The missus had the old heating on, and whew, it's warm in here. Would you consider Manchester City to be a bigger rival than United in this current era? I consider Manchester City to be a pest. I consider Manchester City to be an oil-rich Wigan. I consider Manchester City to be an absolute headache. But no, to me, I'll never see them as rivals, because I kind of refuse to even acknowledge their existence with regards to being a big club. So no, to me, United and Everton, they'll always be the two I look to with regards to the fixtures, the first two that come out. And Manchester City, I really couldn't give a shite about them, to be honest with you. I've no respect for the way they've gone about things, if I'm being bluntly honest. And look, City fans won't care about that. Why would they? They've won titles and stuff, and I'm sure they celebrated it. But yeah, no, not for me. Just my take on it. How much were my tattoos? That's a strange one. I'd say no, a lot cheaper than they should have been, to be honest with you, because I've got a friend who does them. I probably only dropped about 700 quid maybe on them in total. Probably about 3 grand's worth of tattoos maybe, but Yeah, no, but I think about 700 or 800 quid probably. Now there's a few cover-ups that I've gotten done. I used to have a few really shit tattoos that Andy was able to cover for me. So yeah, about 700 or 800 quid I'd guess. But I need to get it finished because which one is it? This arm, as you can see, I have half a sleeve done, but then I still have this old shit tribal thing that I need to get covered up here. Whereas this arm, I've got the complete sleeve done on it, like so. Still have more work to get done. That's a strange question, no, but I'll answer anything. What have we got? Kyle O'Brien said it's his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, buddy. 23 today. Many happy returns. I hope you're having a lovely day, buddy. Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing some of your birthday with us, mate, and coming on as well. I really appreciate it. Look, this is why I love our chat as well. Best subscribers in the world. They're all in here and they're wishing them a happy birthday as well. This is what I love about our community on here. It really is class. And I love when people come in to try and banter us and have a pop as well. They very quickly get told to fuck off. Not by me, by you legends in the chat as well. Giants Nation, I don't do politics or religion on the channel, mate. It's two things that we just do not talk about because they just divide people too much. So I just don't touch on them. People are very sensitive about their religious beliefs and about their political beliefs, and I fully respect that, and each to their own. Don't touch them on the stream though, mate. So, sorry. Look at this, still wishing happy birthday. Love it, ladies and gentlemen. Right, we are really close to hitting 52k, so if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please take a second to do so. It'd be lovely to do it in the last 25 minutes of the stream. Also, our Instagram account has absolutely lit up over the past few days. I mean, in the past 4 or 5 months, we've grown that from about 11, 12k up to almost 24k now as well. So if you like our content on here, don't forget to check us out on Instagram and on Twitter as well. Links in the description, but it's really easy to find us on both. Just search Anfield Agenda or at Anfield Agenda and you'll find us on Instagram and Twitter as well. Right, what else we got? Adrian needs to go, said Musa. Yeah, look, I get the frustrations. I think it's just about how we word these things, if you get me. I don't want us to go too footed on him. Do you know, I don't want us to start ripping him to shreds. He's still a Liverpool player and he deserves to be shown respect, but it's also fair to say that you're worried about him. I'm worried about the next game. I'm worried about the 4 weeks, actually, after the international break. Jack said, whereabouts in Ireland are you from? This is where people... I wouldn't even have to give you this answer now, mate. I could tell you that the people in the chat would answer word for word what I'm about to say because I've said it so many times. I'm originally from Dublin. I grew up in Shankill, but now I live in Gorey in County Wexford. There you go, buddy. I think Everton are going to win the Premier League and I'm a Liverpool fan. Weird year. They won't, mate. They won't. They're looking good. They're looking very good. They may push for a European place, but I don't think they have the strength and depth to be able to get through the entire campaign. I think 1 or 2 injuries might derail their season a little bit, but they're certainly heading in the right direction under Ancelotti, and the Merseyside derbies are certainly going to be far more competitive than maybe in recent years, but I can't see them going on to win the league. I think we should give Adrian one more chance, said ASM or Fatso. We may not have a choice, unless we do something or give Queevy and Kelleher a chance then. But like, I was looking through some clips today. Somebody shared some clips of the mistakes he's made at Liverpool, and it was a fairly long clip, to be honest with you. So, I still can't believe what he did 4 minutes into the Villa game. I was bad foot trying to pick out Joe Gomez. Just put your foot through it. I mean, I just don't get it. John Costa said, I'm a United fan, but I do enjoy your content and the banter from the other day. I hope Ireland smash Slovakia. Thank you, John. We've loads of United fans, loads of Arsenal fans and opposition fans that pop in from time to time to say hello. And look, it's great. I mean, we're football fans first and foremost. We all have our own clubs that we support, but, we all love the sport at the end of the day, mate. So, yeah, banter is banter, but thank you and great to have you with us. Let's get behind our keeper. Again, I've got nothing against that Irish guy, mate. I'm actually happy that people are looking to get behind our keeper. And I want to get behind Adrian as well. But I'd be a liar if I came on here and said that I wasn't nervous about, the next 4 weeks or 6 weeks, I should say. I keep saying 4 weeks because I automatically assume, the 4 when the international window closes. Can we still loan buy somebody like Butland? Yes. As I said at the start of the stream, up until next Friday, the EFL window, it's called, is open. So basically what that means is Liverpool or any other Premier League club can buy or loan players to or from the Championship or below. but we cannot do business with other Premier League clubs. So as an example, Liverpool could sell a player to, I don't know, Norwich, or Liverpool could buy a player from Stoke or loan a player or vice versa. That window shuts closed next Friday. So yes, in theory, we still could go look at Jack Butland. Maybe we could go look at Foster from Watford maybe. I don't know. I've not seen much mention of Foster actually. It seems to be all around Butland. Vidit said, I hope Kelleher starts above Adrian against Everton. I'm of that mindset as well, mate. I mean, why not give Queevy and Kelleher a chance? Do you know what I mean? I mean, how many times does the backup keeper have to make mistakes before he ever gets a real opportunity? So, yeah, I'm with you. I'd rather see Queevy and Kelleher get a go as well. John said, Shankill is near where I live. Where do you live? I'm guessing if Shankill is near, you're either going to be Bray, Ballybrack, Loughlinstown, Dunleary or Sallynoggin. That's my guess, mate. When are we going to acknowledge Stevie G? What are you shouting on about? When are we going to acknowledge Steven Gerrard? The man is in folklore as a Liverpool legend. A statue or training ground named after him. Relax there now. Hang off. He's grand. He still might have another chapter in his Liverpool life to go, yeah, you know, it's Stevie G. He could be manager someday. So then, you know, just hang off. He's still very young as well. And look, he will, of course, get his whatever it might be down the line, whether it be a stand or whether it be whatever it is. But just leave it be. Loads of time. What else is there? Hi, Craig. Came in late. What's the Upamecano news? Again, I've done it 3 times in the stream, mate. 40 million next summer. Clause kicks in. Liverpool United going head to head. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Has Grujic gone on loan? Yes, that's something again. I want to give credit to somebody, and I don't know who I have to give credit to because I can't remember who it was. But somebody did come in late in last night's stream and say that Marco Grujic had gone on loan to Porto. Now, I couldn't verify that on the stream last night, but as soon as I got off the stream, of course, the news broke officially. And yes, Marco Grujic has joined Porto on loan for the season. Which is great. I mean, he's going to get a chance to play Champions League football there, play week in and week out, and I wish him all the best. And there's no obligation or no option for Porto to buy him at the end of that deal. It's just a straight loan deal for the season. Look at the other comedian. Thanks, Mark, for the answer. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Haha, United stand reference. Never heard that before, mate. Adrian's confidence will play extremely bad now. Yeah, but look, there's 2 weeks for, the backup staff to get his confidence back up. Right. What else we got? We should just sell him. It's annoying to give him a go. I don't know if that's in relation to Kelleher, but look, everybody knows I've got a gripe about the youth system with regards to goalkeepers and the fact that they don't really ever get a chance. Is Butland the realistic possibility? I don't know, you'd have to ask Stoke that. I mean, yes, in theory, it's a possibility. But again, would Stoke want to lose a keeper? It would have to be a proposition that's attractive to Stoke in this instance. So I don't know if it would involve maybe we put Kelleher on loan to Stoke. I don't know. I have no idea, but it is possible. I'm worried about the back four confidence in Adrian. So am I. And again, I'm going to bring you back to Virgil van Dijk's face when we conceded that first goal. Do you think Klopp should start Minamino Jota ahead of Firmino against Everton? If it was any other game other than Everton, I would be saying I can absolutely understand why maybe Diogo Jota or maybe Takumi Minamino will get a run. But the derby is almost made for Bobby Firmino. It's going to be 100 miles an hour. We're going to need the press to be on form. And that's what Bobby brings. So if this was any other game, I would say there's a great chance that maybe Firmino gets dropped. But as I said, the derby's almost tailor-made for him. So I think Klopp will give him the nod for this one. But I think this could be not a last chance saloon, but maybe a last chance saloon before the real pressure starts coming on from Minamino or Jota to maybe take his place for a while. But I hope Bobby has a worldie, because as I said before, my favourite player. I love the lad. How did Alisson get injured? Shoulder injury in training, unfortunately. Let's look on the bright side. We still have loads of games left. Klopp will want to come back strong. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're all hurting after this loss, but you can be guaranteed that Jordan Henderson, that Virgil van Dijk, that the rest of that Liverpool team and the manager and the backroom staff, they're all going to be hurting. That was an absolutely mental day. It's crazy. I was going to give Jason Cundy a bit of a positive reference for once, but I'm just going to skip over that. But basically, it was a mental day. An absolutely crazy Sunday that day. West Ham beating Leicester 3-0. You had Spurs going to Old Trafford and beating United 6-1. And then you had Villa absolutely destroying us 7-2. Just a mad old day of football altogether. When are Thiago and Mane back? They both have to obviously serve their isolation periods after their positive test results. Thiago will be back first. They could both potentially be back for the derby. I would say Thiago more likely so. I'm not actually aware of when Sadio will be allowed back to train. But again, you just hope they both make... And of course Shaqiri as well now. You hope they all make a speedy recovery. I don't think they'll be hurt, and I think they'll be angry. That's another good shout, mate. Yeah, they want to put it right. I mean, that's what we know about this group. We've seen time and time again that this group under Jurgen Klopp, when they face disappointment or they face adversity, they come back strong. So we didn't win the Champions League against Real Madrid. We lost that game in that final. What did we do? Came back stronger the next year and won the Champions League. In that same season, we won the Champions League. We heartbreakingly lost out in the Premier League to Manchester City, who put together that amazing run of games to end the season, and we lost out there by a point. What did we do? We came back the next season and won the Premier League. So I think this group have earned our belief that they will respond to that terrible performance against Aston Villa. And look, everybody has an off day, and unfortunately it was a perfect storm of Villa being really good, our goalkeeper making a mistake, our players, except Salah, not really being on form, a whole host of deflected shots that they scored from. Just everything came together that day, on top of, as I keep saying, a very good Villa performance, and we got our asses handed to us. It is what it is. Who's looking forward to Thiago, though? I mean, we've just got a glimpse of him against Chelsea, and now we still have him to look forward to in the heart of that Liverpool midfield. I'm so excited about seeing Thiago settling into this Liverpool side. 29, absolutely in his prime, coming off the back of a fantastic Champions League winning season with Bayern Munich as well. Full of confidence, really happy to be at Liverpool. Yeah, it's going to be great. I cannot wait to see Thiago back in. How's it going, Craig? Doing a great job, keeping it upbeat. Let's all pull in the right direction and remember where City are, the Lisbon Reds. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. That's really kind of you, buddy. And I'm telling you one thing, I've said this to a few Northern Irish Reds. Northern Ireland, Belfast in particular, is top of my list for Anfield Agenda meet and greet. I have to say, we want to do Dublin, we want to do Belfast, we want to do Cork, and we want to do one over Liverpool again. But as soon as the world settles back to normal, Anfield Agenda will be hitting the road and doing some meet and greets with some supporters clubs again around Ireland and around the UK, and Belfast in particular. I know you're from Lisbon, but Belfast, right at the top of my list. I cannot wait to get back up there. It's my favourite city to take a break in Ireland. Myself and my wife, whenever we get some time to go away on a weekend, Belfast is where we head for, mate. I love it. What else have we got? What happened to Hendo? He's back training. He's with England now. He's training there. He had an injury, and he'll be back. He'll get some minutes on the international break with England, and he'll be back and he'll be ready to go for the derby. Should Fabinho start in defence against Everton? Yes. I'll give you my quick run through if you want of what I would do against Everton with regards to a starting 11. I'm going to give you everything but the goalkeeper. So let's just go with the back four. I'd go with Trent on the right hand side, and I would put Fabinho in alongside him to give him some extra protection, alongside Virgil van Dijk then, and obviously Andy Robertson on the left hand side. My midfield trio for that game would be Thiago, Henderson and Gini. I know people will give you shouts on Naby Keita, but again, I'm kind of going for, outside of Thiago, obviously, the tried and tested there. People that know what a derby's about, that have played against Everton, just a strong, sturdy midfield. So I would go for Thiago, Henderson and Gini, but I absolutely understand the shouts for Naby Keita as well, or Milner, or any of our other midfielders, to be honest. And then the front three, the big decision is, of course, with Bobby Firmino, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. If Mane's available, they should be no-brainers. I think he'll give Firmino the nod. I do. I think that this is a game, as I said, it's made for Bobby Firmino. But I can understand people wanting Takumi or people wanting Diogo to get a chance there. I love the way I'm saying their first names, like I'm on a first name basis with these lads. James, you're from Cork. Nice one, buddy. Why isn't the chat scrolling for me today? Sorry. The chat's playing up to me today. I'm trying to play catch up with it. There we go. Got it back now. Craig, is Sancho a realistic possibility next summer? Yes, he is. Absolutely realistic. How we fund the deal, that's if it's going to be somebody leaving or not, that remains to be seen. But yes, the want is there. The word from inside Sancho's camp seems to be that they're fondly looking at Liverpool as well. Bayern Munich and the other club mentioned in that independent article about it. But yeah, it is possible. I'm not saying it's nailed on or anything like it, but it's definitely possible. What have we got? Give Origi a good game. He loves a goal against Everton, said Kieran Shield. He does love a goal against Everton, mate, but he's down my pecking order of list of forwards, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, Minamino. Then we're talking Origi and Elliott. That's probably where my list would be. Danny, you're from Gorey as well. That is weird, man. Weird and great in a nice kind of way. Nice one, buddy. Lovely little town. I love living here. I wouldn't move for the world. I love it. Well, I would move. I'd move to Florida in a heartbeat, and that's where I want to end up. That's where my family's goals are. The plan is that Anfield Agenda will eventually be based in Florida, if I can ever sort out that move, which is my dream personally, is to live in Florida and run Anfield Agenda from there. Should Matip replace Gomez in defence? For me, Matip's a better centre back than Gomez. He just has to come back from injury first, mate. But with that partner, with the Matip and Gomez conversation, I think a lot of the time it depends on the opposition. Both, when they get a run of games, seem to do a very good job alongside Van Dijk. Now, you know, some people have a preference for one or the other. I think the more natural partner for Van Dijk is probably Gomez, but with Joel Matip, you do get some different facets. Obviously, he's stronger in the air than Gomez would be. Probably a bit better at carrying the ball out of the fence and maybe those longer passes like Van Dijk. But again, two good players, and it is a tough decision between the two of them. Who would you favour more, Sancho or Mbappe? If I could just pick one out of thin air and drop him into the Liverpool team and not have to worry about wages or anything, Mbappe every single day of the week. What else we got? Matip not match fit. Spoke about that a second ago. Dave Smith said he better off the bench. Jota will come in before Origi. Absolutely agree with that. No doubt about it. As I said, the pecking order for me now, Origi's after falling down that one again. Craig, people are worrying about our keeper, but Everton's keeper is prone to mistakes. Oh, don't get me wrong. T-Rex boy is absolutely horrendous as well. We should be popping shots in from all over the place. And every time we get a corner, we should be putting it right in on top of Jordan Pickford as well, with Virgil van Dijk and whoever the other centre-back is right in on top of him, putting them under pressure. Absolutely. I mean, we have our own worries around the keeper, but Everton as well have their own headaches with Jordan Pickford, because he's been a bag full of mistakes as well for them. So yeah, it's very good to point out we're not the only ones going into this game with a headache about the goalkeeper. Is Salah past his peak? No. I mean, if one thing we can take from Mohamed Salah this season is, from day one, he looks absolutely primed, in fantastic condition. He looks like he's not only trimmed down a bit, but also bulked up a little bit. And he looks like he's on a mission from this season. So, no, I would say he's absolutely not past his peak. Salah looks like he's flying at the minute. I mean, he's the only person to come out of that Villa game with any way of a decent performance and the pat in the back. Like, 2 opportunities, took to both of them, great goals. Could we go in for Aouar next season? It's difficult to say. I don't know from an attacking sense now what we'll do next season, to be honest with you, because Houssem Aouar obviously didn't get the move from Lyon to Arsenal. Very talented footballer. Of course we're tracking him like many other clubs around Europe. I don't know is the honest answer. We know Jean-Michel Aulas, the Lyon president, is so difficult to negotiate with. And there will be no shortage of clubs looking for Houssem Aouar. And that's all I can really say. And I don't know. I'm not going to come on and tell you lies, but he's a quality player. Craig, what do you do during the day? Nothing, mate. Nothing at all. I'm a carer to my son, and as I said, I don't leave the house. I have a terrible anxiety disorder. So yeah, nothing. I don't work, mate. The honest answer, like people ask, is the honest answer. I don't work. And Anfield Agenda certainly doesn't provide a living. We're way off that point, like where this channel is enough to provide me and Connor with an income. But yeah, as I said, nothing's off limits with me. Ask me anything and I'll try and give you an honest answer. Well, I will give you an honest answer. I mean, there's probably one or two things I wouldn't answer a question on. Gazaniga from Spurs, again, can't be done, Simon, until January. And in January, sure, we probably won't need a keeper because hopefully Alisson will be back. Do you think Henderson will finish his career at Liverpool? Yes, I do. I'm so glad that Hendo's finally, over the past few months, been getting the recognition that he deserves, particularly from non-Liverpool supporters. He's only got little arms, mate. Couldn't touch the crossbar. He's only got little arms. I know. Everton fans don't like me very much for obvious reasons. SGN Raider said, Craig, not to sound overly confident, but I do think our lineup will be way, way stronger than Everton's. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but they haven't been tested yet. I mean, they did go to Spurs and get a result, to be fair. Got to give them credit on that one. And they have played 4-1-4, so they're in absolutely flying form. But yeah, on paper, we've a better team. Absolutely. We've a better team than Villa, though. And it's about going out there on the day and getting the job done. And we didn't do that against Villa, and we were put to the sword. So, yeah, on paper, absolutely. John Costa said, damn man, hope the channel grows. Thank you. Well, look, we're only going 2.5 years or something at this point, and to have gone over 50k like we have, more than we'd ever dreamed for. So anything from here is a bonus for myself and Connor. But again, we wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without your amazing support. Do I play FIFA? No, mate. Gaming isn't for me. What is it? It's a must-win game, said Carlos. I think it's a must-not-lose game, Carlos. I mean, inside, yeah, I'll probably be saying to myself it's a must-win game, but in the grand scheme of things, if we picked up a point, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But if we did lose to Everton, then everybody will be piling in on us. The media will pile in on us. The questions will be asked by everybody. Opposition fans will pile in on us. They'll say that Liverpool are falling apart. But I believe in this group, I believe in the manager, and I believe in their strong mentality, and I think we will come back. Hope you're alright, brother. You're not alone, said LFCG. No, I'm okay, mate. I've had a meltdown, maybe. You've seen it was public. I mean, I did a goodbye video on the channel. And look, I've always spoken about my mental health openly on the channel. I started on some new medication about just over a month ago now. And it's helping me a lot, to be honest with you. That and the support I get from you guys and the kind emails and messages and stuff we receive. It really helps me out more than you'll ever know. So this channel has been almost a mental health exercise for me as much as anything else, because the companionship and the interaction I get from Reds around the world helps me, because as I said, I don't really leave the house. I've left the house 3 times since March, and I mean literally I've left my house 3 times since March. Not little trips to the shop, nothing. The only 3 times I've left my house, I went to meet Connor once in didn't even get out of the car. I met Connor in a car park once to give him, I think jerseys came in the post that I had to give him. I went up to Dublin to drop medical supplies to my in-laws, and I went out with my wife once. We were getting some work done in our bathroom and I had to pick a tile with her. Other than that, that's it. You guys are my link to the outside world, and I've never made any bones about that. This channel to me is a lifeline. It's a link to the Reds around the world. So more than anything else, like I always say, my mental health's an open book. I'm always happy to talk about it. I believe you should speak up about it. I think it's a subject that we need to approach and talk and open up about. You've seen the best of me on here, you've seen the worst of me on here, but you've accepted me, and that's the thing that makes me feel happy and makes me come back here every night, is that you don't judge me. People that come in here every night know that they'll have some good days and they'll have some bad days, and you take me as you find me, which yeah, that means a lot, so thank you. Anyway, somebody sent the super chat to say 77777. Brilliant, mate, but you still look like a fucking clown on a bike with a helmet on there and a pair of glasses. Nice little child behind you, by the way. Best wishes to the young child. I'm not bringing the young child into this, but if you're gonna come in and have a pop, mate, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be nice on here. I'm talking about mental health, and you come in with that shithouse comment, so I don't know what to say to you, mate. I mean, it says more about you than it does about me. Champions of the world, Craig, I love you. Love you too, buddy. Thank you. What about your video with 888 Sport? Yeah, that video with 888 Sport was filmed in January, mate. So, do you know what I mean? Like January. You're talking 10 months ago now. And yeah, went to London for that, and I was in and out in a day. Didn't even stay in a hotel. Oh, actually, no, I'm lying to you. For that one, I did. Me and Connor stayed over there. We did, yeah. I go on holidays and stuff with my family. Don't get me wrong. But it takes, for me to go on a holiday, it takes weeks of counselling and preparation and planning and visioning the place, walking through it, maybe looking at Google Maps, getting familiar with it. So much stuff as well. And I have an autistic son, and we need to look out for his sensory issues and a lot of other stuff that, you know, I never really talk about in the chat. And, you know, why would I? It's boring and you guys don't need to know about it. But people trying to be smart arse about it, really, you don't know anything about me. And if you did, I'd hope that you wouldn't be that much of an asshole. Big respect, Craig, said Nathan. My pleasure. Opinion on the new handball rule? Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It looks like they're starting to change it back a little bit now, but yeah, I agree with everybody who was pissed off about the handball rule. Some of those penalties were just nuts. Ansu Fati is ours, said Chris, obviously a Barcelona fan, fantastic player, mate. And anyone that watches this channel for a long time knows that I've got a big soft spot for Barcelona. You know, Barcelona are a club that I look out for fondly. I follow La Liga. I do some stuff with La Liga TV from time to time, and of course Graham Hunter, my, I don't want to say hero, but someone I'm proud to call a friend as well. Yeah, love Barcelona. I'm always in Graham's ear asking him about stuff. But nothing compares to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? You seen the reaction in my video when we beat Barcelona, what I was like. That's how little Barcelona really matters to me in relation to Liverpool. But yeah, they are the club I look out for after Liverpool. And I'm glad to see Ansu Fati coming through and doing well. He looks like a quality player. Loads of people saying some kind stuff in the chat as well. Thank you. It means a lot. But look, what I've always tried to say about mental health before I finish up tonight is we all go through ups and downs. We all have highs and lows, and we all probably know somebody who's affected by mental health issues, whether that be depression, anxiety, or maybe you've got a condition like my son who's got autism. I actually have Asperger's, but I don't really ever mention that too much. But yeah, if you are somebody that's out there, and particularly with this situation we're all in right now, a lot of feelings people have never felt before, financial worries, stresses, worried about the kids in school, worried about your friends and family, your loved ones, just speak to somebody. That's one thing I will say. If you have feelings you may have never experienced before, suffering some anxiety or anything like that, please do speak to somebody, whether it be a family member, if you're in school, a teacher, or your GP, a professional. But don't keep it in, don't bottle it up, because there's nothing wrong with being fucked up. I'm fucked up, but we can all be fucked up in our own glorious, unique way. Sorry for using language there, but it's just my way of expressing myself. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't think that there's anything wrong with having a bad period in your life and needing help. We all need help from time to time. That's what we're here for as human beings. We're made to nurture and look out for each other. So don't mind all the shit that people throw out on social media. Don't mind all the horrible shit that's going on. If you're suffering, if you're down, there is help out there. It's a bit more difficult obviously in this tough period we're going through, but do not suffer alone, ladies and gentlemen, because there are better days ahead, and it might take some work and it might be difficult, but please don't ever give up. Always reach out, always ask for help, and don't be afraid of it, because you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what race, religion, sex. It doesn't matter any of it. Depression, anxiety, mental health issues, they don't give a shit. It can creep up on anybody. Professional footballer, somebody on minimum wage. It doesn't make a difference. We all suffer at times, and we all need a little bit of help. Ask for it. It's there. It doesn't make you a worse person. It makes you a stronger person for having the courage to step up and want to be better and want to help yourself. So nothing but love to anybody out there that's suffering at the minute, and just don't give up the fight. Keep going. There's better days ahead for everybody. Lots of love to all of you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to finish up there, if that's okay. I will see you absolute superstars on Friday. I'm going to take tomorrow off to watch the Ireland game. Actually take it off, not like the way I've supposed to have been taking these few days off. Please do hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. I'll see you guys on Friday. Enjoy the next couple of days. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love to you all.